Hello gamers, welcome back to Surviving Fallout 4. So, I finally got around to making this here video that I'm sharing with you today. And I gotta say, I'm really glad of finally having the time to sit in front of my computer, unplug the phone, and just get at it. Because I gotta say, I really enjoy making these videos for you guys. Firstly, just going out, exploring the wasteland in search for the best locations for legendary farming to help you in your playthroughs. And secondly, because I think and hope you'll find this video worth the wait. In the previous video I mentioned that it was a nice surprise for me to find this location. And as I went around collecting footage for this video, I actually started discovering more and more interesting facts about this area. So I spent several hours going around, reloading, exploring the area, and just collecting footage and data to boil it down to this video. So that you don't have to spend the hours yourself, but just sit back, relax, and enjoy. So without much further ado, let's dive right into it, shall we? Now, where is this location? Well, let me show you here on the map. The way I discovered it back then is after doing some trading here in Vault 81, I was heading back to Sunshine Tidings to do some building on the settlement. But instead of going down the beaten path on the north here, which was already cleared, I decided to take the west approach and see if I could pick up some additional items on the way to the settlement. Alright, let's fast forward to the location. But you know what, before we do that, let me show you something here on the map. This here is Forest Grove Marsh. It's Ghoul Central, but to the northwest of it, there is a little trading post here inside this boxcar, which is a very weird, peculiar trader. I mean, he's got a safe hanging on the outside of the post, which you can easily pick if you have advanced skills. By the way, nothing inside the trading post or inside the safe is marked as owned, so you can just help yourself to anything you want, and he wouldn't mind. Alright, once we drop the save on the sleeping bag, let me show you the goods. Okay, so from the sleeping bag, you are set. What you want to do is go down to this road here and follow it going north. Once you pass over here, on your right, you'll see Weston treatment plant. You want to continue northwest. And then when you're right under the highway, going to sneak mode, you'll see the brackets shuffling. That is because there's an enemy up there on the freeway. The best way to climb up there is to follow under the highway going north. Now, if you don't see the bracket shuffling, that doesn't mean there's nothing up there. It only means that there's no live enemy. See, sometimes at this location, you're going to find the death scenes, like the one with the raiders that have been killed by pigmen, or the intervention scene. Okay, you see the brackets are shuffling here as well, but we'll get back to that in a moment. First, let's focus on the task at hand, which at the moment is to climb up to the highway to find the first set of enemies. And we find some mole rats. Sadly, no legendaries in this first try, but don't despair. We're just starting. You see, this location, unlike the previous ones where the enemies are set, is going to give you a different scene every time you reload it. You'll find from raiders to rat roaches to super mutants to death claws to blood flies to rust devils if you have the automatron DLC. Depending on your level will be the enemy that you'll find, and of course the loot that you'll get when you spawn legendaries. Alright gamers, so this is the famous spawn point that I found west of Weston. Weston treatment plant, that is. But don't click out of the video just yet, alright? We're just getting started. I have a lot more to show you about this location. Things that I discovered that I want to share with you, so please bear with me. Remember those shuffling brackets from before? Well, as it turns out, at the very end of this collapsed section of the freeway lies another random encounter spot. So we're gonna approach the area ever so cautiously and see what we got. Aha, we got some wild mongrels. Alright, hopefully we're gonna get some legendaries here. Let's see. Nope, I don't think we got any legendaries because a single Molotov would not have killed the legendary. But at least we got some nice mongrel meat. And remember, there's a cooking station by that trader over there, so you can always convert your meat into delicious mud chops. Okay, but that's not all, okay? So far, let's see what we got. So far, we have the ones up on the freeway and those mongrels. If you continue north, you're gonna encounter this sort of plane stack on a fountain kind of monument. By the way, don't forget to get your stim pack and the cap stash. We're approaching Arcjet Systems, and this is another random encounter spot. At the moment, you don't see any enemies because this is leveled. I think this spawn point is for very high levels, above 60 or something. See, because I came here at level 52, 53, and the spawn point was not active. But then I came back with another character at level 117, and there were enemies every time I reloaded. Anyways, we're not done yet. So if you continue down towards the water here, you're going to find a couple of mire lurks in the water. And the nice thing about these mire lurks is that every time you reload from that save, from that sleeping bag at the trading post, you have a chance of one of these mire lurks being legendary. Sadly, that's not the case. But if you look over to that bridge, that is yet another spawn point, another random encounter spot that has the potential of yielding legendary enemies. At the moment, it seems to be one of those situations where 3 raiders have 2 farmers held at gunpoint. Yep, that's where it is. Right, let's meddle in here, shall we? Let's see what we can do with a fragmentation grenade. Oh my god, I hope I don't kill the farmers. Oh yeah, bullseye. Oh, well, actually I call that surgical work with a fragmentation grenade. I managed to kill all the raiders in one go, and I didn't touch a single hair on these farmers. Do I get any cash for that? No? Okay. Well, at least I'm gonna loot these raiders. I dislike him anyways, and it's always good to have some free loot. But, you guessed it, we're not done yet. So, I'm gonna speed up to the other side where we just barbecued like 4 mongrels. And from here spot, if you were to walk towards the rock after these bushes, right by the water, by the edge of the water, you'll find a couple of rat stag walking around. And same thing as with the mire lurks. Every time you reload from that spot by the trader, you have a chance of one of these being legendary. Okay, but we're not finished, okay? We're back on the highway where we killed the mole rats, and if from here you were to continue south, and by the way, you can do this on the freeway or on the ground. Also, I'm going to speed up on this and several other areas so that I don't bore you to death with all the running around. But you want to continue south on the highway all the way until you see this elevator right there. By the way, there's a gunner camp over there that we don't need to mess with at the moment. But this is the elevator you want to find. If you were to go over to the elevator and look down, that intersection there is another random encounter spot. At the moment, we have the dead scene. Probably some animals or raiders that are dead there. I think there are, yep, some rat stag, so it's always nice to have rat stag meat for free. But here comes the best part of this video. I'm so glad you guys kept on watching so you didn't miss this. Remember, we're not done yet and I still have things to share with you. The nicest thing about this location is that it reloads. Let me show you. Once you go all the way to the elevator, the scene here on this bridge has reloaded. So at the moment, we no longer have those mole rats. Now we have one of those dead raider scenes. The one that I was telling you. I think this is the one that Pikmin kill a bunch of. There's one rat from before. These are the ones that Pikmin killed. And not only this spawn point reloads every time you leave the cell all the way over to the elevator, but the one by the collapsed bridge also resets. Okay. So back on the highway, I actually want to show you where the cell actually loads up. From this yellow car, and actually when you're approaching that red car on the other side, you'll be able to see how the cell actually loads up and what kind of enemy you can expect. So basically, there you can see all the enemies drop dead, so that's probably another dead scene. But from this point, before you drop down here, if you don't see live enemy, which means no legendary, then, oh my god, Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to drop over here. I have come by this railing and climbed it with no problem, probably 100 times already. And right when I decided to actually shoot the video, then I messed it up. But I'll eventually get it. So bear with me. There we are. So, as I was saying, after you pass the yellow car and you see the cell loading, if you don't see any live enemies, which means there's no legendaries, right? You can just run back to the elevator, come back, reload the scene until you see live enemies, and then go for it. All right. So now, let me show you, because I've been doing the rounds for about 1.5 in-game days. So let me show you what I've collected so far in terms of legendary items. So far, I got the Assassin's Missile Launcher. I have an Enraging Combat Knife. I have a Ghoul Slayer Revolver Pistol. Not so good. But we have the Incendiary Hunting Rifle. That's pretty decent, I say. Let's see what else. Troubleshooter. But no, actually this one I already had. So, but we have in the armor section, we have the Acrobat's Combat Armor left leg, the Cryogenic Raider left leg. We have the Exterminator chest piece, leather chest piece. And we have a rad-powered metal left arm. I think that's 8 items. So that's pretty decent for 1.5 days work. Of course, it involves a lot of running around. Which brings me to another topic, actually, for a future video. If you let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video of this. But when you're doing this particular location on survival mode, because you can't fast travel, right? So I don't think I want to take part in this fight. This is the one with the 2 death claws, and none of them is legendary, so screw it. I'm just moving on. But I was saying, let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video about how you can max your endurance and your agility. Because when you're on survival mode, because you can't fast travel, then you're going to be doing a lot of running around. And those are the 2 key attributes that are going to let you run for ages. Once you are level 16, you're going to run a lot. I mean, not level 16, but once you have 16 endurance and a bunch of action points, you're going to run for ages. So I have another video in mind that I can make where I can show you how you can max your endurance and your agility without glitches, without duplicating the special book, without cheating, but just with gear, food, and some other special conditions, which I'm going to go into more detail in said video. If you want me to make it, just let me know in the comments. Ooh, we have another legendary in our hands. Actually, this is the first scene that we encounter at the beginning of the video, where is Hadrian and the mole rats. This is the 4th time since I've been doing the rounds that I encountered this scene, and 2, including this one, out of the 4, have had a legendary mole rat. All right, so there you can see just how generous this area is. But guess what? That's not all. I still have 2 more spawn points that I'm going to show you up ahead in the video, so don't leave just yet. See, with this video, I wanted to take my time, and instead of making a bunch of videos like with Hangman's Alley, I wanted to condense everything in one single longer video showing you absolutely everything that I know about this location. Also, at the very end of the video, I'm going to leave a small clip showing you what kind of enemies and gear you'll find at higher levels. By the way, look at this. This rat gave us a nice thing, explosive submachine gun. Alright. So we're back on the sleeping bag from the trading post. What you want to do, instead of going towards the elevated freeway, you want to come over to this side of the ramp. Now this is the random encounter spot. At the moment you don't see anything happening, because for the enemies to trigger, you need to be on this road. So what I'll do is I head north, because you need to be at least as far away as this white car. So I'm going to do the flagpole here and go back to the intersection. Now you want to make sure you go back into sneak mode and allow the action points to refresh, because you might have to run for your life. Let's see what... Haha! Legendary Super Mutant Skirmisher. See, I should tell you that this spot in particular will cycle through a lot of encounters. So it's not only going to produce enemies, but you're going to find a bunch of friendlies. Like Kelly, the one that's selling cow around the Commonwealth. You also find the little girl with the sentry bot, the scribe, etc. But now on to the other spawn point, which is right there in front of us. Now I have reloaded from the sleeping bag because I want to elicit the help of this guy here, Gruel. See, the other spawn point is if you climb up here, up to these rocks, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself surrounded by a bunch of mole rats. I think it's like 5 or 6. And because I don't want to die on camera, I'm going to let Gruel deal with them. And I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show. Now, I have been reloading from the sleeping bag, which simply means that the legendary mole rat is already locked in. So if I want a different rat, I need to reload from a different spot. So let me show you this different spot where you can drop a save and then approach the area and get yourself a fresh new rat. Okay, so this is the location. And we're just a couple steps north of ArcJet. Let me actually show you here on the map. See, it is called Rocky Narrow Parks. There's ArcJet system, there's Weston treatment plant, and the original spawn point. And that over there is the gunner camp. Okay, by the way, this is the section of the video where I'm going to show you at level 119 what kind of enemies you're going to encounter at each one of these spawn points. As you can see here by the fountain, there's a bunch of brass devils with the legendary. Actually, one of the reloads, I found 2 legendaries among these fellows here. But at the time I wasn't recording. Ah, bummer. But I was checking data and facts about the area. Alright, so this is the video. This is the video that took me so long to make. But I gotta say, I had a lot of fun. And it probably would have taken me less time to make if I'd done any online research. But I decided to do only in-game research. So all the information that I'm presenting to you here is the result of a lot of reloads and just running around like crazy. But it was fun. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you with this high-level video while I do a quick recap on the location. First of all, this is one of the most generous locations, not only for legendary farming, but as you do the rounds, you're gonna come up with a lot of meat, a lot of loot, you know, like a lot of ammo, and also you're gonna build up your adrenaline in no time. Second, remember, not all of the spawn points are gonna be active all the time, as some of them are leveled. Like the bridge, where we encounter the 3 raiders holding up 2 farmers. I think that is only active at lower levels. Lastly, if you want to make the most of the mole rats that are on the hill, make sure you start from Rocky Narrows Park and start your rounds from there. Alright gamers, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did and found it useful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. This has been Surviving Fallout 4. Stay tuned and stay safe in the Commonwealth. Goodbye.